Hello once again, I'm Charles Aite. To our first story, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, has expressed dissatisfaction over ongoing road projects funded by oil revenue in the Greater Accra region. The committee is presently inspecting some projects, including the Flowerpot Motorway flyover at Spintex. The move is to ensure that funds from the annual budget funding amount drawn from the sale of crude oil by the country is judiciously used for its intended purpose. We have more in this report. It emerged that the Finance Ministry disbursed some 3.6 million cedis into the construction of the flyover from the APFA account in 2019. The Vice Chairman of the committee, Nasir, expressed worry that an insignificant amount has been allocated from the oil resources considering the cost of the entire project.
Now, our problem with that particular project is that it means that we can't really point to a significant impact of the oil money on that project. And when we are mentioning projects that oil money should go into, it is too insignificant for us to say that oil money has gone into this. Even though we will see the quantum as 3-point-something million, in terms of the total project cost, that is too insignificant, almost negligible.
Will you suggest that they add more to it?
Now, what we are saying, and PIAC has always advocated, is that we commit significant amount of oil money into legacy projects. So if we consider the flyover as an important project and a priority to us, let us commit as much oil money as possible to it so that significantly we can point to it as an oil project, right?
The team also inspected the 1.5 kilometers Akura power line stretch in the Nkwantana Madina municipality, which was completed in 2018.
We need to work on our maintenance and ensure that where there are potholes, we act as fast as possible to ensure that the potholes don't develop into manholes. Forgive me for using the word manholes. But we do have some few potholes that we are hoping that the Assembly will take into consideration and ensure that whoever is doing maintenance here should ensure that all the potholes are done with. And that way we can actually say that there is value for the oil money that has been applied here. Interestingly, I also live just a few meters away from here. I never knew this was an oil-funded project, actually. But today, I am being told that over 90% of the project cost that went into this particular road was actually coming from oil money. And to the extent that I'm a member of the committee, I think for this particular project, I'm extremely happy.
Officials from the Department of Urban Roads who took the team on the road inspection expressed satisfaction with the project. Now, Ghana's total earnings from non-traditional exports fell marginally by 1.84% from $2.89 billion in 2019 to about $2.84 billion last year. That's according to figures from the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, GEPA. The slight decline in earnings was as a result of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, which disrupted the global supply chain. However, some products from processed and semi-processed subsectors, including iron coal, palm oil, and natural rubber sheets, recorded major increases in exports during the period. Meanwhile, the chief executive of GEPA, Dr. Ifuasabi Asare, insists that this will not affect Ghana's ambitious $25 billion export strategy, hence the need not to consider any possible review.
For the nets is quite ambitious, and when the team made up of about 100 organizations sat down to put this whole thing together, there was a lot of research before we came out with that figure, so it wasn't from anybody's imagination, but it was quite ambitious, and we thought that yes, we could do it. We are not, I don't think the ministry is going to review it downwards or review it upwards, because it was already an ambitious target anyway. We are going to work hard and keep on doing what we are doing and do the interventions. We know that we will recover, just as we did put measures in place to the extent that the dip wasn't so bad. We think that we will keep on working hard to increase. Now everybody is digitizing. So we are looking at different ways of doing things. We will not stick to the traditional way of doing things and miss out. There are even products that we haven't even touched that are doing so well on the market. And I'm talking about a product like cannabis, which is doing well. Other people have taken advantage of it and raking in millions of dollars. We are going to look at all of these products. We need to diversify, and we need to use technology to help us to achieve what we set out to achieve. So we are not going to, review it. I don't think so. I cannot speak for the ministry, but I can say that in my own little, we are not going to review it. And hopefully, it won't be reviewed. We will try and catch up and close the gap somehow. Thank you. My deputy was just mentioning cassava. Cassava powder is now a big deal in the Asian markets and other markets. It is being used for pharmaceuticals. We haven't even looked at it properly in the past. Now it is something that we are doing. And so all these new products that we are seriously working on, we hope will support what we are doing to get to the target that we said we would.
Now, the Association of Ghana Industries has observed that even though government continues to make strides in improving the business climate for the growth of local industries, women participation in the sector continues to lag. But what remains the cause, and how can this be addressed? Currently, the women leadership of the AGI are devising ways to explore finance channels and market access for growth. Anita Wiafi Asino, the Chief Executive of OML Africa, as well as Maureen Erikwa Odwe, the co-founder and Executive Director of the Aurora Business Network, spoke earlier on the marketplace.
To come together so that the opportunities and the resources that are available are distributed fairly and equally to women who are in business that are sustainable, that can create jobs.
Great. Let me bring in Maureen, because you often engage with policymakers on matters regarding women participation. What particular framework, Maureen, should exist to ensure a balanced participation of women in industry?
We are looking at a special fund that should be set aside to address the issues of women when it comes to access to finance. And that's the kind of framework we'd like to engage stakeholders on during our second anniversary celebration under the theme Women-Led Businesses, Exploring Finance Channels and Market Access for Growth.
To what extent can Ghana miss out on the continental free trade, of course, if this issue of women disparity is not tackled?
At 3 areas: partnership, attractiveness of women businesses, and being investor ready.
Well, it's the month of December and the festive season has got shelves of shopping malls and market restocked for the holiday season. But there are concerns regarding the cost involved, especially when the Finance Ministry has scraped off the 50% benchmark values on food and beverage. According to, the Finance Minister, this is to rake in more revenue. Well, the Food and Beverage Association is predicting a hike in prices of foodstuffs going into the festive season. The Executive Director of the association, Samuel Agri, spoke earlier on the marketplace.
We, the importers and traders alike, will then have to activate our second strategy as to what we're going to do to ensure that this thing don't have real effect on the consumer. Because what they have done, if your import is seen already and you are selling, you wouldn't have the impact. But then what it means is that you will then have to go back and recost your products and then accommodate the percentages that will come in your next import so that you don't make any losses. But this will have a real impact on the consumer public. Because
and when are we going to be facing the impact of this? The beginning of next year or the beginning of the Yuletide?
Yeah, it has to take immediate effect.
Okay.
You see, so products and services may have to go up by 25%. And you and I know that our salaries are not there to meet that cost of increase. So therefore, if government itself does not think of the people, and then you still want to go and take the money that you want to make because of that, the benchmark value must come. Then obviously, we are going to face the challenges of high increases of prices.
You're still watching Business Live. Still to come, the Joy Business van gets a tour of one of Ghana's leading packaging firm, Royal Crown Packaging Limited. Now, Ghana's push for industrialization means an explosion in the number of manufacturing firms that would certainly need packaging on a very large scale. Rather than import packaging products, Royal Crown Packaging Limited was set up close to 6 years ago to meet that gap. Today, it's not only meeting the needs of local manufacturers, but also exporting its products to other countries in West Africa. Today on the Joy Business Van, we get a tour of the facility.
The Joy Business Van is brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and MTN everywhere you go.
So these are the paper reels, yes.
That's so much paper.
It's actually so little. I want more.
It's a busy production day, as is always the case. Various machinery in action, manufacturing a broad range of corrugated box and folding carton solutions. Royal Crown Packaging was founded in May 2015. General Manager in charge of sales, Gifty Mensah Kwaku, tells me.
That time, yes, there were others doing the corrugated boxes to pack your usual. It was mainly used by the food and beverage industry, pharmaceuticals, the cosmetics, the soaps and detergents, industrial, and then chemicals. So, and then actually agro. Agro was a big thing. You remember we had this, we were exporting a lot of pineapples then, and then we still do export some bananas. But what was happening was there still was a gap.
A gap Royal Crown was poised to fill. The newcomer in the business needed to draw big manufacturing companies, some of them multinationals.
We did do our background checks. We knew that either they were importing everything, or they were buying some locally and importing. So what we do was we normally would approach them, present them with a sample of what they're using, and give them a better, much improved one, catch their mind, because the space that was there was like, this is what is there, you take it or leave it. But we decided to partner with them. So that was how come they were able to buy into our idea.
Today, Royal Crown has a tall list of multinationals thanks to investments in machinery which boosts capacity, quality and consistency. Royal Crown has capacity to do 3,000 tons a month. Production begins with a production planner who receives the orders. The quality control team does the assessment of the orders and gives the go-ahead. Then next, the corrugator.
We feed the machine with paper reels, just single paper. So in there, that's when the manufacturing takes place, because with starch and the rest, it gets bonded and you have your boards coming out. This machine we have does about 60,000 boards. So it comes out. From there, it will move to the conversion department. The conversion department is where the cartons are. The board sheets that you have produced are now, it comes cut already, but it comes as just some square or rectangular sheets, depending on the dimensions that has been fed into the machine. You know, everything is networked. So every customer's dimension is in there. From there, the converter also knows what to print on it because it is networked.
Next to the logistics team that dispatches the finished products, Royal Crown has capacity to meet nationwide demand. Royal Crown is currently exporting its products to other West African countries, including Mali, Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Much of the production, though, is dependent on the availability of the primary raw material, which is paper.
It's quite tough out there because when sourcing for raw materials, we are sourcing with the whole world. So we are looking for the same paper that China is looking for. We're looking for the same paper that the Europeans are looking for. So, but we're able to maneuver our way through. It's not easy at all, but we do. And interestingly, when it comes to you're from Africa going to buy paper, so you know those international barriers there. But we meet business.
The 6-year journey has got some remarkable highlights.
Internationally, we won the AfriStar Award. AfriStar Award is the Institute of Packaging for Africa. So we entered into that competition. That is very, very, very competitive. Royal Crown, we won. And then it didn't end there. We went to the World Star. So we have IOPG Ghana. Then you go to AfriStar, and then we went to World Star, and that's we also won an award.
Currently, Royal Crown Packaging Limited is looking to innovate and is experimenting with new ideas. And there is also the Continental Free Trade Area.
We've explored how the Continental Free Trade is going to also work and see how we can take advantage of that, because we also have to think of our clients outside. If they don't benefit from the after, then it becomes a problem. They wouldn't want to buy from you. We have other, it's an open market. We have other competitors, not even Ghana, coming to set in within the sub-region. So we trying to educate ourselves to see what we can do, and then get to some melting point where we can both have a win-win situation.
Royal Crown has created jobs for many young people and has rolled out CSR projects targeted at schools. So what next for the packaging firm?
We are not there yet. For us, we are not there yet. Yes. We want to increase our output. And then I just mentioned a few of the countries outside. So we want to add more, and even not just add more countries, but take over a lot of the volumes in those countries. And even Ghana, a lot of companies are springing up, taking advantage of the 1D1F. Once they are coming up, then there should be packaging. So why not? We want to go all over so that even when you get to the US and you see a carton, you just lift the carton, look beneath it, and you know that, oh, this is from Royal Crown Packaging in Ghana.
The story. The Joy Business Van was brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and MTN, everywhere you go.
Away from that, President of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Clement Osei-Amoako, has upbeat the partnership with the African Diaspora Development Initiative to create jobs and support the local economy to grow will boost the country's economy. Here's more in this report.
The Wakanda One City of Return Expo launch assembled international businessmen and women of African descent who have come to Ghana to showcase how productive the collaboration between the African diaspora, Friends of Africa, and their brothers and sisters on the African continent can be. The Ghana National Chamber of Commerce says the expo falls in line with the vision of the chamber, and the Chamber of Commerce and Industry will support it fully to ensure that more jobs, industries, and education and health infrastructure are enhanced. President of the Chamber, Clement Osei-Amoako, called for support from Ghanaians for the project that would be born out of the Trade Expo and the Wakanda One City of Return project.
The Chamber goes out all the time to look for investors for the country. We also partner with other bodies outside with some trade fairs, etc. And so we have an opportunity to see our own Africans coming back home to develop their own nation. Then we see it as a better platform and for us to give everything that we have. And so priority must be given to them as Ghanaians, as they are showcasing why they want to bring whatever they have experienced. And we realize that they have great brains all over the world. And it is about time that we Africans allow our friends from the diaspora to come home and develop our country together with them. There's a lot of opportunities. The government have a lot of programs. Now with the coming in of the Africa Continental Free Trade brings a lot of opportunity.
President of the African Diaspora Development Initiative, Ambassador Rekana Chinhombori Kwao, praised the resilience of the African and indicated the ADDI was ready to invest in Africa beginning from Ghana.
The rest of the world is coming to Africa. We, the owners, the inheritors of Africa's wealth, we need to be involved. So we are coming in to also participate in the economic development of Africa. You saw the support we are getting from the Chamber of Commerce, both at the national level as well as regional level. We can't ask for more than that. You saw the support from the Ministry of Trade. We can no longer go and invest in Africa individually or as small groups. We must collaborate and create massive movement where we can pull up the billions of dollars that we already have. So we don't need any funding from anybody as African diaspora. We have what it takes. When we come together, like I always tell them, $1 million diaspora with $1,000, that's $1 billion. We can do that easily. With us today, we have the president of the National Bar Association in the United States, representing 67,000 black lawyers and judges. Can you imagine how much muscle that is? That's just one organization.
A Pan-Africanist and a Kenyan law professor, Professor Pierre Lumumba, called on the African to be confident in themselves that they could rebuild Africa and make it productive and viable.
We have philosophized for too long. We have intellectualized for too long. We have moralized for too long. The time for action is now. And I have no doubt that this is going to be, under the aegis of the African Union, we have an organization which in many ways is in a suspended state of animation.
And that'll be it for Business Live. I'm Charles I.T. Many thanks for watching.